Welcome back. This is James, also known as the Ogre Zerg. I will be um going over part 3 of What If Deku Was Part Extraterrestrial. And like I said in the last part, the first 4 parts to this series are actually going to be remakes of the 50 sub special and more in depth. And where we last left off in the last part, Izuku had accepted All Might's quirk on the condition if All Might ever thought he may have found another worthy successor, that he would pass, like Izuku would pass the quirk on to them. And in the back of All Might's mind, like he's thinking, is like, I do have someone in mind, but honestly, he believes that Izuku truly is like the best successor to this, because he doesn't necessarily want the power, which means like Izuku won't abuse the power that he gains from it. And I also want to thank, upon like recording this video, I was at 94 subs and I just got a notification during this is like the second attempt that I got another sub, so we're at 95 subs, 5 more, and I will work on recording the 100 sub special episode. And it's not going to be like I did with the 50 sub. Like the 50 sub was just something that was between two, and then was just my thoughts on a new series. This one, the 100 sub special, will actually be another series that'll run concurrently with this one and my breakout series. That way I can kind of slow down on that and just wait on more material to come out from the anime, and eventually I will go completely over the 4th season. Post talking with a friend that I have in real life about it, and also some input from another YouTuber. I've thought about it, and unless the viewers like want manga spoilers, then I'm just going to keep it strictly anime, because I know a lot of people that watch What If videos are anime only, and I don't want to like spoil anything really for them. So unless the subs like say otherwise, I'm not going to go into the manga with My Hero Academia, even though I could. Because there are some sad that happens in later chapters. But that being said, let's get back to our story. So where we last left off, Izuku had accepted All Might's quirk, and Ishido and Kirishima wanted to go off and do their own thing, because they're not necessarily the smartest tools in the bunch. Like, they're not like dumb, but Ishido is kind of an airhead. That's kind of like what makes her character so endearing in the anime and manga. And Kirishima kind of wants to work on his own stuff, but he still has to study more. And like, I want to explain something with when Ishino gave him like that death scare, like stare. It's like we know you're smart, Izuku. Like, don't like. It was kind of like a warning. It was like, you say it, you're gonna regret it, kind of thing. So that being said, over these next 10 months, Izuku is going to be learning more how to control One For All. And he is going to change his outlook. His outlook is going to be changed because All Might can spend more time working with Izuku. And this is going to drain All Might's time limit. He's going to go from like 3 hours to like 2.5 hours. Excuse me. I'm having some side effects from my medications that I'm on from motorcycle accident. But back to the story. So, like, a month has gone by, and during like their sparring matches, and All Might really talking with Izuku, like what it means to be a hero, and kind of gauging like where Izuku's mental state is, because like when he was helping out Shido kind of like mentioned to him that Izuku's always been like really self-conscious about his looks. And All Might has asked her, is like, well, you guys kind of look the same. Like, what's the difference between you two? And like, Ishido explains that unlike her, Izuku was really bullied a lot because of his appearance, and like she was fortunate to actually have a few friends, and like her family like not treat her any differently. And so All Might like kind of understands, and it makes sense like why Izuku like doesn't really like the spotlight. And he's thinking like, and he started thinking, it was like, is that why he doesn't think he's worthy of like the to be the successor and everything. So he kind of got some information about Izuku, and over the past month, he's during their sparring matches, he has, because All Might's been teaching him some combat and everything. And after a month, like All Might kind of like has noticed that he's only using like the quirk in one part of his body, like his hands and feet. And he's only using it in like one hand or one leg or stuff like that. And like the first time Mizuku did like use the quirk, he did kind of like break like his finger, but it wasn't like a major break. It was more like a sprain, and he hasn't really been going over that limit. But he has, like, over the past month, Izuku's psionic abilities have, like, improved. Instead of, like, gloves and, like, boots and, like minor shin guards, it's become more full legs and full arm. And Izuku can somewhat create, like, his bubble force field has gotten, like, stronger. It's, like, gotten denser. Basically because of how One for All naturally boosts like your natural endurance and strength, which is covered in more depth with extra material and literature about My Hero Academia in like quirks. Excuse me. His natural genetic abilities have increased, and one of the side effects of it is his skin has gotten like a pigmentation or two like darker, and it's not something that Izuku kind of like really noticed, because if he did, he'd probably freak out about it and everything. But that being said, like All Might noticed that he was only using like one for all one of his in like one specific area, and then he's like, why do you keep like turning it on and off? And like, why don't you just like let the power flow through your entire body and leave it on? And Izuku like thinks for like a good minute about it, and he's like, and then like he face palms. He's like, I've been such an idiot. Like obviously that makes more sense. So he, like, All Might tells him, is like, and young Midoriya is like, what do you ever like meditate? Because it seems like your own quirk quote unquote. We the readers and the creator know that Izuku's abilities aren't actually a quirk. So technically speaking, Izuku was quirkless before he gained One For All. But that being said, All Might is like, I've noticed also that your quirk is dependent on your mental state. Have you ever thought about like doing meditation and like mind training? And Izuku is like, what do you mean? And All Might goes in and explains that there's been a few heroes in the past that their abilities were linked to their emotions. Like if they were angry, and they had like there was like this one hero that the angrier he was, the stronger he could become. And this is kind of just an homage to like the Hulk, because I was going to do a what if about that if Izuku was a Hulk, but there's a few other YouTubers that have done it, and I can't really think of a way to make my story unique compared to theirs. So, like, I kind of put that idea on the shelf, and like I'm gonna come back to it at a later date. So back to our story. Izuku's like, well, that kind of makes sense, because I have noticed that on that day, like, all I could think of, like, I've been trying to, like, do what I did, make, like, use, like, my shields as, like, scoops or something, and I haven't been able to, like, control them like that. So, Izuku, like, over the next, 7 months, he's going to be learning more. He's going to be getting more combat training, but he's also going to be working on meditation, basically meditating on controlling like his mental state. And we time skip like another 3 months, and Izuku's gotten better control over One For All. I would say he initially started out with like 5% that he could use without with slight strain. Like he'll pull a muscle or something if he goes like above 5%, to about he can now use, I would say, because of his physiology and how fast he can learn stuff, we'll put him at a good 12%. Like that seems reasonable. Because the next what if series I'm gonna do, I don't want to make like back-to-back what if series where like Izuku is just completely freaking broken. So that being said, Izuku's gotten more control over One For All. He has mastered somewhat full cowling, and he has been trying to turn on One For All full cowling and just leaving it on, but like he's still working on it. And he's noticed something that the meditation training that All Might kind of suggests to him has been helping with that. And he's been thinking, and his psionic abilities have gotten stronger once again. He's now able to somewhat do like a full body coverage, and like it happened once, but he's not entirely sure if that was just a figment of his imagination. But he kind of sent out like this shockwave just from like, he doesn't know if it was because because he was punching with One For All, or if it was because of like his psionic abilities, like with his shield. But he kind of like created like a mini shockwave in a direction. So he wasn't entirely sure, so he's been thinking about it, and he, like, one day he's like him and All Might are sparring and everything, and he kind of stops. And All Might like stops, and he's like, "What's going on, young Midoriya?" He's like, "All Might, I've been thinking, like, there's this one time that I created this shockwave, and I wasn't entirely sure if it was because of my quirk or one for all." And he's like, "I want to try something, but I'm not sure how safe it would be." And Izuku kind of, like, he closes his eyes and he's just focusing, and he shuts off full cowling, and then just goes to punch, and All Might like sees these mini pardon me, he saw like this wind pressure like just come from his hands. And when Izuku opened his eyes, he's like, "So like did it happen?" Because like he couldn't really tell. And All Might's like, "What did you just do, young man?" And Izuku's like, "Well, I'm not sure entirely, but I think I can push stuff away. Like it's kind of like the inverse of my mom's quirk, like, because it happened like a couple of times, and wasn't entirely sure if it was just the pressure from like using one pro and the strength and everything, or like my quirk." And All Might's like, "Young man, like that's amazing." And so like we come to a month before the UA exams, and Izuku and All Might are sparring and everything. And like All Might kind of like deflates, and Izuku's like, "Are you okay? Are you okay, All Might?" And All Might's like, "Yeah, I'm fine, young man. It's just, whew, these past couple of months is like really taking it out of me. I think my time limit's kind of shortened." And Izuku's like, "Oh, are you okay? Like what's going on?" And like All Might like says, young Midoriya, it's nothing to be concerned about. Like I kind of knew this was going to happen, and eventually it would have happened anyway, to where I could no longer use that quirk. So it was kind of like a catch-22. Like, the longer I held on to it, the longer I could potentially hold my buff for, but also the longer it went on, the harder it would be for me to control the power of that quirk. So I kind of did need to pass it on. At the same time, it would shorten my time limit, but I believe it's in good hands. And young man, like, I don't think I would be able to find a successor as good as you. And Izuku's like, I know I still don't think I deserve it. And this is when All Might says, is like, just because you think that's why you're perfect for the quirk. Because I know you won't abuse its power. And that's one of the biggest concerns that I have, is like, does my successor truly need it? And if he does, is he going to like abuse it later on? And I firmly believe, with what you just told me, young man, that it is. But in any case, I hope you do well in the UA entrance exam. For now, you should probably focus on studying like those other two kids have been doing. And so, like, the next month, Izuku is going to be meditating more and studying for the entrance exam. And he's kind of like walking around town with like his hoodie on, listening to music and everything, because he's heading to the mall to like get some more CDs and some more albums for like his collection. And he's at the store and everything, and he kind of bumps into this girl, and like he's freaking out because like his his hoodie kind of fell off, and like his features and everything like were in public, and like he quickly like stands up, pulls his hoodie over, and like puts his head down, and he's like, I'm sorry, I didn't mean to, and I'm really sorry. And then the girl walks up to him and like kind of like lifts his head up, and she's like, why are you scared? Like it was an accident. And he's like, well, most people when they see my face, they freak out, especially when they see my hands. And then Zuko like lifts his hands up, and like he only has 3 fingers and a thumb. And Jiro's like, why would that freak people out? Like that's just part of your quirk, right? And then she sorry about that. She's like, why would that freak people out? And then she kind of like shows off like her earphone jacks, and yes, this is Jiro. And Izuku's like, yeah, but you don't have different colored skin, and like you don't have these. He sheepishly pulls down his hoodie and like reveals 2 antennae, and she's like, that's kind of punk. That's kind of punk, dude. Like, that looks pretty cool. And this is really like the first time outside of like a stranger has like really said that. The guy behind the counter is like, yeah, Midoriya. Like I've always thought you. I didn't never think like I never was scared of you. Like I was kind of shocked that you like with the way your eyes look, but I was never freaked out by the antenna, because like we get all kinds of people coming through here with like different colored skin and eyes and everything, and most people would actually pay good money to like get their eyes looking like yours does, man. And this kind of helps Izuku. He's like, well, he kind of starts thinking, he's like, well, maybe not everyone would be. And he just kind of like, nah, like, most people are like that anyway. And Jiro, like, notices that he has a CD, like, in his hand, and she's like, wait, you got the last one. And Izuku's like, what, you were coming for this? Sorry about that. You were coming looking for that? And he's like, yeah, I've been to like multiple disc shops and everything. And he's like, hold on a minute. And he goes up to the front counter and everything, and he asks the keeper, and he's like, and the shopkeeper like goes in the back, and he comes out, and he's like, your luck, I was able to find one. And find another copy, like. And Izuku's like kind of smiles at this, and he's like asks to like buy both of them, and then he kind of like walks back over to Jiro and hands it to her, and he's like, "This is for me bumping into you." I was like, "I'm really sorry," and she's like, "What? Like you don't have to like at least let me pay you for it?" And like Izuku's like, "No, like I bumped into you. It was my fault. Like, and like I'm sorry about like your shirt just kind of ripped." And like at this point, Jiro looks down, and she's like, "Oh, that was already there." And Jiro's like, "Well, if you insist, thank you very much." And like the shopkeeper said your name was Midoriya, and Izuku's like, "Yes, my name is Izuku Midoriya. Age 15? He's either 15 or 16 at this point. I'd have to look up like the math, and I'm saying from like the canon when like a month before the exam and everything. But we'll say he's between 15 and 16. He's either 15 or he's 16. It won't really change much with the story, honestly. So he's on his way back, and when he gets home, like he sees someone sitting like on his porch and everything, And as he gets closer, he notices it's Kirishima, and Kirishima like starts like comes up to Izuku and everything, and Izuku's like, "What's up, Kirishima?" And Kirishima's like, "Can we talk, man?" And Izuku was like, "Well, what's going on?" And then Kirishima like goes into like he's been hanging out with Ishido, and like he's been having thoughts about her, but like he's not sure about like pursuing her because it seemed like there's something going on between like you two, and I didn't want to do anything, and then and everything, and I felt like since we're friends, and if there was something going on between you two, I just didn't want to like make things weird between us and just let things go on, because like I do think of you as a good friend, man. And Izuku's like, "Wait, what? You like Ashita? Like, you like her?" And Kirishina's like, "Yeah, like, she's just, I don't know. She has a really good personality, and she's kind, like, she's brave. And I don't know, like, she's kind of cute, you know?" And Izuku's like, "Well, I guess you're right." And then Kirishima looks at Izuku, he's like, "Wait, what?" And he's like, "Oh, you thought there was something going on between us? Like, no, we've just known each other from a very young age. Like, we've known each other since we were like 6 years old. Like, we got introduced to each other by a therapist, and we're really good friends. She's kind of like a sister to me, like, honestly. And, like, she kind of treats me like her little brother sometimes, and it's kind of annoying, you know." And Kirishima starts laughing, and like he's like, "Did I say something wrong?" Like, and then Kirishima's like, "No, man. Like, I was like really worried that I was like having feelings for like one of my best friends, like, girl." And Izuku like kind of like chuckles about this, and he's like, "Well, if you like her, you should talk to her about it, because she did say that she did like someone, and she doesn't know how to like speak to him, and like I don't know, like she didn't really give me details, but I kind of think it may be you." And like this kind of like Kirishima kind of smiles, like, "Really?" And he's like, "Well, you won't know if you don't ask, and who knows? Like, you two, like, she might like you back. But just like you said, if you just keep letting things build up, it could make things awkward. Like, yeah, it would make things a little bit awkward, but like these are the kind of things you need to talk out. And even if you guys don't get together, it would make you guys slightly closer, because it would enforce, like, it would kind of be like you can talk to your friends about anything." And then Izuku kind of like looks down, and he's like, "And I hope you kind of feel that way about me, because I feel like I can talk to you about like anything, really." And Kirishima looks up at him, and he's like, "So you really weren't kidding about like the stuff we talked about on the beach and everything?" And Izuku's like, "Yeah, like I wasn't joking about that." And Kirishima like smiles and like kind of like gives him a fist bump, and is like, "Well, I've got to get home, because I do live on the other side of the city, and my mom will kill me if I'm late. If I'm like home too late after dark." So with that, Kirishima leaves, and Izuku gets home, and like says, "I'm home," and Ian goes like, "You're back. Like, I thought you still had, like, you went to the music store." And he's like, "Yeah, but I decided to come home because like I kind of met someone there, and like she didn't freak out with the way I looked." And Inko like kind of smiled, is like, "See, sweetie, I told you, not everyone won't think you look like a and she stops herself, and Izuku's like, yeah, I know what you were gonna say, Mom. Not everyone's gonna say that I'm a freak. Like, I get it, but you don't, you of all people don't have to sugarcoat stuff with me. Like, I know if you say something like that, it's not what you believe, because you, Dad, Ashio, and even my friend Kirishima, who was the guy, like, he probably heard me talking to someone, was the person I was speaking with, are the only ones that have really, like, haven't really treated me different at all. And then he goes like, so that Ashido girl, like, do you like her? And Izuku's like, no, like, I think of her more of like a sister, and quite frankly, she treats me like her little brother sometimes. And it's kind of annoying. And Izuku like kind of laughs, like, yeah, kind of like saw that, but these are the kind of things I just wanted to know. And if you ever do like a girl, you know you can talk to me about it. And Izuku's like, yeah, Mom, I know. And she's like, well, dinner's almost ready. Like, go get washed up and everything, and it should be done by then. So they had their family meal. They have a family meal because when Izuku was up, Hisashi did come home. Because he is locally based now. So that being said, this was part 3 to What If Deku was part extraterrestrial, and I will get part 25 up of What If Deku had a hybrid quirk within a few hours. I still have a couple things to go over with it to really refine it. If not, I will get part 4 to this What If out later. That being said, thank you for the subs. We're almost at the 100 sub goal. Like, comment, and subscribe if you haven't already, and enjoy the rest of your day.